goddamn seconds of Disney-related logo
Jeremy, I have a legit question. Why on earth do you care so much about these logos? It's apparently because it takes too long to start the movie, but is it really? Heck, it's not even that, because you've sinned plenty of short logos as well, so do you just not like logos? If so, why? It's a part of film and has been for as long as film existed, so what's the problem? The fact that you think it's that big of a deal to consistently point them out will never not be tiring.
Fear, treachery, bloodlust.
Movie somehow knows all three of my safe words. Also, narration.
For some reason, all I got from that was that Jeremy lusts for blood. Am I hearing that wrong?
I'm honestly not sure. Also sinning narration.
I would make fun of Carrot Days, except I spent time growing up in towns that had corn festivals, strawberry parades, and deep fried days. Yes, it was Indiana, so...
Same question I'm asking. So, if you admit this is a real thing, then why are you sitting a movie for it? That's like sitting Home Alone for having Christmas lights.
Back then, the world was divided in two. Vicious predator or meek prey.
An animal can be both, though. A fox might eat a rabbit, but an eagle can eat a fox. The moral is avoid birds.
Jeremy is ornithophobic?
Probably. Also, considering birds aren't around for a reason that will presumably be explained in Zootopia 3, your point is moot.
Bunny cop! That is the most stupidest thing I ever heard.
Oh look, a racist fox. We have one of those in our world, too.
Again, why are you sending a movie for having racism as if that's not a real world problem that's still around today?
If you don't try anything new, you'll never fail.
Yeah, tell that to Michael Bay.
I would have said, tell that to CinemaSins. Just look at the first sin of this video to see what I mean.
Your dad, me, your 275 brothers and sisters.
Requisite rabbits a lot joke, present and accounted for, 4 minutes into the film.
Aren't you the guy who makes college girlfriend jokes in every other video?
It's great to have dreams.
Yeah, just as long as you don't believe in them too much.
This is honestly excellent parenting that will surely be presented as overly protective parenting, even though, despite the movie's message, not every child is a special snowflake.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't the film's message. Also, they're telling Judy to not believe in her dreams too much, and you're saying that's excellent parenting? Considering Judy proves them wrong by becoming a great cop and solves a conspiracy in 2 films, this seems a bit ignorant.
Us predators used to eat prey.
So what do they eat now? Am I supposed to believe they're all vegan?
So you later sent a scene with the fish market asking if they sell seafood, which would have prevented you from writing this sin. Also, reptiles still eat bugs.
She read a book and somehow became stronger and faster than all the other recruits.
But Judy didn't get better at her training just from reading the book. She just figured out how to work smarter, not harder at the task she had to master to pass the academy. And she did exercise while figuring out how to be better by reading the book.
Hey, didn't I say exactly that in the comments for your video?
Yeah, you had a good point. I missed that, so I figured I'd say it in your video.
This is cute, but isn't a feasible representation of an actual fight in the real world with a rhino. Trust me.
Citation needed.
ZPD's very first rabbit officer, Judy Hopps.
God damn it, you couldn't resist the animal-specific last name thing? I suppose the mayor here is Mayor George Rohr, right?
Nope, the mayor's full name is Leodore Lionheart. Also, didn't you say this earlier?
Impossible even for you to become a police officer.
If the mother's voice isn't credited to Bunny Hunt, I will lose all faith in humanity.
So it'd be okay to refer to her actress's name as Bunny Hunt, but using a pun-based name for a movie character is crossing the line?
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Did FDR exist in this world? Was there an animal World War II?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The population of this one community is almost 81.5 million. It's not like the predators didn't serve a purpose.
Whoa, what?
I'm gonna take off a sin for some pretty inspired animal pun band names. But I'm going to immediately add one back for Judy using what looks like an old iPod Shuffle with a touchscreen. They couldn't give her a f***ing iPhone. Also, I would have thrown in Cat Stevens, but that's just me.
So Jeremy says he's gonna remove a sin, then add that sin right back, meaning the sin counter should stay the same, right? Instead, the sin counter goes up. So what was the point of that?
If that's a Fishtown market, does that mean they're buying fish at the market to eat? I guess since this is a mammals-only party, the fish still get to be food. Whales and seals really lucked out on this one.
Told you. Yes, they eat fish. Apparently fish aren't sapient in this universe, as proven by how they're treated in the second movie.
This song's lyrics are dangerous, and not the kind of message I want to send to my college-age bunny or young viewer. Try everything? Even prostitution? Needle drugs? Burger King hot dogs?
People like me get criticized for taking CinemaSins too seriously. I wonder what those people think with sins like this, because he's taking this song way too literally and doesn't understand the point that it's trying to make. Next thing he'll tell me is that he believes I Just Can't Wait to Be King is Simba's correct view on the Lion King's responsibility.
Her breast should be down by her groin. But at least the number is right, because Zootopia made me Google how many teats does a gazelle have.
What's really gonna bake your noodle is when I tell you that gazelle can't talk.
Where you went, you little Dickens?
Fat cop that likes donuts cliche. Also, overuse of cliche.
Another example of the pot calling the kettle black. Your overuse of cliches has become a cliche in and of itself.
Our first bunny, Officer Hops. Parking duty. Dismissed.
Parking duty?
Movie wants me to feel like this is because she's a bunny, but would most first shift cops of any race be put on parking duty? Isn't it a rookie/hazing thing?
According to this AI search, no, but that's not the real sin. It's species, not race.
Profiling.
Holy pedantic and useless sin, Batman! Isn't the whole point of the movie's message around prejudice? Since it is, how can you convey that message without profiling? Like, what are you asking for?
That's actually disgusting.
You're right. It is disgusting. It's like the movie will acknowledge this later on in this scene. Oh, wait.
Are your customers aware they're getting snot and mucus with their cookies and cream?
How could they not have been aware? Did they look away the entire time their was being prepared?
A jumbo pop.
$15.
I'm sending any world where a single jumbo pop costs $15. Jesus.
Even the real world?
I don't have my wallet.
Discount Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That's speciest.
I get the lonely apartment imagery, which is intended to underscore how helpless and hopeless she feels, but why does a bunny rent a human apartment in Zootopia? Aren't there grass plots to rent? Carrot fields? Lettuce bed and breakfasts?
That's speciest.
Let me guess. R-A-M? Also, super timely radio station songs are super timely.
Jeremy graduated from the redundancy school of being redundant and wanted to let us know for some reason.
Carrots are actually high in sugar and aren't good for rabbits, though this movie decides to cave to the history of Bugs Bunny and carry on the lie that bunnies love carrots. They don't. Carrots kill bunnies if eaten to excess. So, f*** you movie. You've just killed Officer Hops, dickheads.
You're right that bunnies don't eat carrots as excessively as Bugs Bunny would have you believe. But you specifically said they're not good for rabbits and they don't love carrots, which isn't true. They can eat them, just not too much of them. And it is safe to give them carrots as a treat, not as a meal. So the real sin is Judy eating a carrot for dinner.
Oh, she's not a real cop. Our prayers have been answered.
She knows how they feel. Do they have to be such in-your-face assholes about it?
But remember, you were the one who said that they're not being overprotective.
Also, no one in this universe understands how being a cop works. You go to the academy, pass the test, then they give you a badge. She's a real cop. It doesn't matter, she's a meter maid.
The entire reason her parents were scared of her being a cop is because that's a dangerous job, and being a meter maid is one of the safer tasks.
Yeah, you're a real hero, lady.
Hilarious, but how does this tiny mouse's tiny mouse car navigate the same roads as a large... Oh, f***ing forget it.
Okay, so I gave my own critique for this sin to Luke Doherty on a Sing video, and then he used it in his Zootopia video. So I'm just gonna play that clip from his video.
Okay, I might be cheating with what I'm about to say since I did my Sing video before this one, and that film came out after this one, but here it is. Captain Vader told me that this sin is you sinning the film for mice having cars the same size as them, but when sinning Sing, you said this.
Still unclear on why the vehicles are human-sized, even though there's a massive disparity between the proportion of all these different species.
And both that sin and this one contradict each other, so like he said, which is it?
Everyone keeps hating on the bunny cop and not recognizing the value of having a small, fast animal as a cop. Let's see the rhino do this.
You're sinning characterization again. This is how the police, mostly Chief Bogo, are characterized. They underestimate Judy because of her small size and don't believe she can carry out missions like this as a cop, which is why she was put on parking duty. This isn't a sin of the film because the movie is aware that these are character flaws and it's something they overcome by the time the credits roll. That's like sinning Peter Parker for trying to kill Uncle Ben's killer, as if the whole point of his arc wasn't learning with great power there must also come great responsibility.
You did stop a master criminal from stealing 24 moldy onions.
Hate to disagree with you, sir, but those aren't onions.
Judy would be amazing at CinemaSins. I thought those were onions.
But if she knows that they're not onions and you thought they were, then why would she be excellent at CinemaSins?
I am just a dumb bunny, but we are good at multiplying.
Har har, bunnies have lots of sex. How many times is this movie going to go back to that well?
See what I mean? You find this joke annoying because it's repeated. How do you think I feel having to begin every one of your videos with you complaining about logos?
Yes, this giraffe stuffing of this hippo volleyball is hilarious. My question is, how does this match ever take place?
Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
You didn't happen to catch the license plate number, did you?
Tommy Chong Yak actually caught the license plate number despite being a Tommy Chong Yak.
Narration.
They're all sloths?
Hilarious DMV is slow joke from Pixar is only about 12 years too late to be timely, but whatever. Good slow is slow joke, y'all.
1, this isn't a Pixar movie, and 2, you're once again sending something you like.
3 solid minutes of the sloth the slow joke that wasn't even super funny to begin with.
But didn't you say it was a good joke and the literal last sin?
You come here unannounced on the day my daughter is to be married.
The sin isn't for the Godfather reference. It's for the fact that this is actually in the middle of the night.
Hey, sending my scene for any reason. Awesome.
Whoa, Mr. Big. We don't need to go that far.
I'm sorry, Captain. I let my temper get the better of me sometimes. Continue as you were.
Thanks. I'll add a few extra, though.
Wait! She's the bunny that saved my life yesterday!
Even Ethan Hawke laughs at the ex machina coincidence of this.
Another day, another coincidence sin. What's even worse is that you call this a deus ex machina despite being aware this was set up earlier, meaning it didn't come out of nowhere.
In order to make sense, this Disney movie is going to have to pass through one of those goddamn Tim Burton films.
Arbitrary movie director reference.
Who's that beside her? Who is it?
Zootopia's Got Talent.
Arbitrary reality show reference.
Carrots, you saved my life.
I'd be surprised too. The rabbit was able to hold on to that fox that's twice her size, and then conveniently flip him into a series of vines that did not immediately snap or come loose upon their landing. Then they fall into these conveniently fall-breaking leaves that keep them from plummeting to their deaths. Did these vines just break their fall and tie them up in a spiral thing?
The last 3 sins are just questioning cartoon logic, and I don't have enough patience to respond to these.
2 days to find the otter, or you quit. That was the deal. Badge.
Sometimes characters in movies are assholes just because the movie needs a bad guy. This is one of those times.
Or Chief Bogo is characterized this way so he can eventually realize he was wrong? Like, don't villains never do that, aside from people like Darth Vader?
Being muzzled sucks, I get it. But why does it take him so long to rip that muzzle off his face with his 2 good hands?
Put yourselves in the shoes of Nick Wilde. You've just been attacked and dealt a hate crime. You'd want to get away from your attackers before they could do more harm against you.
Where does that road go?
Well, wherever it goes, they have to be running out of traffic cameras to look at, since I'm sure they're outside the city limits at this point.
Yes. That's what the movie is saying, Jer.
What kind of...
Damn it, jump scare. Go back to an Insidious movie where you belong.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Chief Bogo handed out 14 missing mammal files. They're all here.
Am I supposed to believe that in this giant sprawling city, all of the missing person cases are related to this one case?
Yes.
Chief Bogo doesn't know.
How handy the main character happens to catch one of the main bad guys on video.
It's almost like he's not one of the main bad guys or something.
Even in Zootopia, celebrities interject themselves into situations they are unqualified to address.
Even if she has a legit good point.
Know what this reference is? Breaking Bad. I'm sorry.
So we're now sending a movie for your own pun?
Well, I can cross that off the bucket list.
You have a bucket list, dude.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you speed.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Run. Get them.
Even in Zootopia, the cops are corrupt. Is this art imitating life, or life imitating art several years in advance of said art being released?
I'd say it's art imitating life, but that's not the real sin. The real sin is you not sinning Mayor Bellwether for being a terrible twist villain. Like, she's even worse than Prince Hans.
Gosh, think of the headline. Hero cop killed by savage fox.
Does this museum not have video surveillance? Aren't you on camera right now laughing about your great criminal victory over Officer Hops?
You don't think Bellwether couldn't have tampered with those cameras? If she had this grand plan of turning predators back to their old school savage ways, then I'm fairly certain she would have thought that far ahead. Otherwise, we would have seen camera footage of this at the beginning of the sequel.
Actually, and I'll dart every predator in Zootopia.
This is some horrible boss's level of thinking. Never play the secret audio condemning your foe in front of the actual foe, lest they threaten to kill you for it.
Then it's a good thing Bellwether called the cops and they're about to arrive shortly after this scene, isn't it? Otherwise, what you're suggesting would have actually happened. Yeah, we should all be glad you're not writing this movie. Can you imagine how bad that'd be? Probably as bad as the Ables.